Alrighty, good afternoon everybody and welcome back to SimTraX Broadcasting. Patrick Morrison coming to you live here from the Auto Club Speedway out here in California. Drivers out there are pretty excited about tonight's race as they have so many different opportunities out here. Passing, for speed, for driving, for coming up with their teammates out there, for a little bit of help right toward the end. But what they're not excited about is the level of professionalism that needs to be taken at a track like this. You can't be mashing each other to pieces. The pit stops have to be just about as flawless as possible out there. No mistakes to be made. I mean, being held up in the pit road by a second can cost you the race here. And a lot of guys are actually really on edge here tonight, and they're super nervous about what's going to come of this. Appreciate you guys joining us here at SimTraX Broadcasting. Don't forget to subscribe. That way you can chat out there with Lockers Motorsports. It's actually helping the guys out here on the track with their setups. Going ahead and getting you guys a baseline, seeing that this is an open setup league. Don't forget to reach out to Lockers Motorsports out there at the Tier 1 setup shop. And Jay out there as well. You subscribe, you can chat out there with Jay. As you can see, he's the #1 guy here as he is out there in the chat already. As we take a look right after qualifying, our guys are doing a pretty decent job out there trying a couple of different lines. The sun will be setting here tonight, so we have a lot of sun in the windshield for the driver, and they are a little nervous about that as well. Crew chiefs have already said they're working on the possibility of putting shades onto the helmets to see if they can go ahead and help their driver out. But once that sun falls and we race under the lights, it's going to be extremely dangerous out there, and hopefully during their pit road they'll be able to go out there and get that thing squared away. Let's take a look at tonight's race here tonight at the Top Secret 500, the NSR Gen 4 Cup Series. Don't forget, this is also brought to you by Fubar Studios, where racing meets freedom. And go ahead and get the veterans out there to go on some laps out there, get a possibility of working with the pit crews and get them from the battlefield to the racetrack. All right. Tonight's race is going to consist of 100 laps over this 2-mile track, 100% tonight. So they should be able to stretch it out at least a decent 38 to 40 laps. We'll see how they can handle that, if that is going to end up being the case here tonight. Whether or not somebody gets a decent breakaway here, they're going to be sucking down the fuel rather than playing in the draft. Fortunately, 4 sets of tires will be hanging out down there in the pits, but they've got to maintain this car. 4 sets of tires may not be enough out there, as they're going to be pushing really hard out there on the edge. Tom Harkins out there asking if anybody sees Herbie out there tonight. So, all right, open setup league. I'll be your lead producer, and Devin Lockridge actually hovering over top, not only building setups out there, but playing race control. We'll also be taking care of that here tonight. We're excited to see him once again hop in the booth and go ahead and get everything squared away in his own booth over there. He's definitely kind of keeping everybody punched down out there. Hi Sim Racing saying sing happy birthday to Lucas Crump. As Lucas Crump, it is his 21st birthday. All right. All right, we'll see Lucas Crump out there in the 04 Ford. He's looking to have a good night here tonight. Tons of Chevrolets out here. Only 3 Fords will populate the field. And after the last win that we saw from Lilith Peters, she has got her head held high, hoping for a good race here tonight as well. This is a Devin Lockridge Motorsports driver and car here, as we see currently right now fastest during this warm-up here. They only got about another 45 seconds. Their cars have been rather sturdy out there. And I don't mean sturdy as in knocking it off the wall and bending it up at all out there. The cars don't seem to be plowing. The weight seems to be very level here. Whoop, as Lilith Peters is looking to see if there's any simulating, I guess, maybe a pass to the outside. I've done that before when I get out there on the track. Try to throw with something a little bit different at the car. If somebody smacks off the wall, is Lilith Peters able to get out of the way without rear-ending the back end of somebody? Unfortunately, Justin Sumner will be having a rough time here tonight, as he's blown the engine back on lap number 1 there during qualifying. So he's going to be starting from the back of the field. And Sumner was one of our fastest guys last week, and I can't wait to see what he can bring out here tonight. Warm-up has finished here, so we are getting ready to get these guys out there onto the track. And I love seeing that we have more drivers starting to accumulate out there on the track. That is fantastic. Don't forget, for each driver that you bring here to the league, that's just going to add another one to the field. We get 15 guys out here that are pretty consistent. We get one person each. We got a 30-man field, and we got a race on our hands. So we got definitely, we can see that is taken into account here, and these guys have definitely tried. You'll see names you haven't really seen before here at this track, or here with the NSR series, but they're finally popping back up and getting back out there on the track. Drivers like Douglas Macedo are going to be looking to have try to have a decent run here tonight. I know he's been battling a lot of car trouble out here this season, and he's going to be looking to fight to get his way onto the track and earn that spot, as he has definitely had tons of trouble out of that machine. So we'll see, as they are currently getting, they are getting ready down here in pit. I believe we've only got about 4 more drivers we are waiting on out there. Mark Sikosi, who's starting on the outside. There he is. Gets out there in the number 8 car. So that should go ahead and get us ready here for our starting grid here for tonight here in the Next Gen Cup 4. All right, let's go ahead and get going. Lilith Peters, well, after a win, goes ahead and takes the pole here tonight. She'll be starting in the number 1 spot next to Mark Sikosi. Jared Hayes starts 3rd next to Lyle Mitchell. Lucas Crump starts 5th next to Jason Crump. We'll see how that goes. Not bad. Crump 21, and he'll be starting in 5th. Moving on to Robert Wiggins, who is 7th. James Rodriguez starts in 8th. Moving on to John Strickland, 9th. And Jason Korn. There's a new name for you. Jason Korn out there in the 48 machine. We'll see how he does here tonight, as he'll be starting a top 10 start. Now, remember I said earlier that we have blown an engine where Justin Sumner will be starting in 11th, so he must have gotten that lap down and gone ahead and finished. That moves us on to Brian Wiggins, who is going to be 12th. Now, Brian Wiggins, I believe, is in a little bit different race car here tonight, as he should be in the GoDaddy number 5. That moves us on to Justin Cope, who's currently starting in the 13th position, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, when I was checking out there, Justin Cope will be starting in 13th. Moving us on to Guadalupe Hernandez, who will actually be starting in 14th. I show 3 drivers not taking it here. Devin Lockridge, who's actually playing RC. We're going to go ahead and smack his hand once again for not spectating out there. Roberto Barini is not taken behind the wheel here tonight. I think he was getting a decent time to try and feel out the track and see how these guys do out here before they do anything different. And Douglas Macedo looks like he will not be taking the wheel, or he will be starting from the pits. All right, that should do it for our starting grid here for tonight. Let's go ahead and see these guys take off here. It's go time. All right, Lilith Peters getting a decent breakaway here. That is a huge start. Right now, that's already 0.3 of a second separation over the top of Mark Sikosi. First green flag that drops is given to Barney out there as he goes ahead and throws the green flag down. It is not based on the drivers out there, so Mark Sikosi should not have been caught a little off guard here to start the race. That's going to give Peters now almost a half a second lead out front. Lucas Crump, Jared Hayes are sitting 3 and 4. Already a little bit of 3 wide here. Nothing to be ashamed of here, or nothing to be nervous about. These drivers have got plenty of room out here until this squeeze. And this is the only thing we're going to keep an eye on, as you see the number 3 of Lyle Mitchell starting to pull back just a little bit. Going ahead and letting Jared Hayes and the 04 try to get on around of Lucas Crump. First caution is going to come out. New GoDaddy car is going to be involved in our first caution here of tonight. I believe John Strickland is another driver. Looks like maybe a blown engine here. We're going to take a look here and take a look. The Mountain Dew number 25 here. I don't know if there's some trouble. Looks like there may have been a disconnect issue. As you can see the steering wheel wiggling there. That normally indicates an issue back on his end. He is towed down to the pit road there to try to see if he can fix that car up. But right now, with no fast repair, John Strickland may have only made it a lap here, and that is going to undo his night, which I hate to see that happen. John Strickland was battling just to get back in this. Let's take a look back at Strickland and see what happens causing this caution here tonight. if I can get her wound up here. There we go. Pressing off the wall. This is turn number 1. Wow, what a shot. That was a hard hit there. Let me see if we can find something a little bit closer here. I want to know the driver who came down and took the hit from the 25 first. The 14. Looks like Angel Rodriguez got hammered there. So the number 25, showing that cigarettes is not the only king that can kill you. Apparently, I guess the Mountain Dew car can as well. We'll keep an eye on Angel Rodriguez out there and see if that car can be fixed. As currently that vehicle is down in the pit lane there. As a few guys are making a quick adjustment here. I don't think any tires will be taken. John Strickland gets slightly maimed here, so he should be done for the night. We'll see if he ends up in the infield car care center and see what happened to that car. Honestly, from our area, I'm not quite sure. He was riding the wall. Looked like he had come off the wall and then swung all the way down. But I'd still say there's a mechanical issue here on his end. Which is why the wheels, you see how the wheels are still wiggling up in the front. So normally that's somewhere like a steering wheel disconnect here. And if that's the case, hard shot there for the number 14 of Rodriguez. Currently looks to appear to be no worse for the wear, which is really, honestly, probably the best thing. We take a look at our drone footage out there on the number 14 Chevy Monte Carlo, and I'm not showing any smoke or anything like that, so fantastic news for the 14 team. As Lilith Peters continues to lead this race and follow behind that pace car. It's going to be a long night if we keep this up. Seeing that we are going 2 miles, our pace car speed sits around about that 70-mile-an-hour mark out there. We'll be slowly putting around as the drivers, some of their top speeds were up over 180 already before the tires really started seating in. Yeah, I'm showing that the speed John Strickland was going, it was 193 before he had caught the wall. That gets cranked up there pretty well. All right, let's go ahead and take a quick peek here. Looks like from 9th on up, did not pit out there. So that does include Angel Rodriguez, Jason Korn, Jason Crumley, Wiggins, Lyle Mitchell, Jared Hayes, Lucas Crump, Sikosi, and Lilith Peters. The rest of these guys down here are coming back down into pit. The number 15 out there, normally in the Michael Waltrip car. Hernandez is coming on down. Looks like John Strickland still remains in. Drivers Justin Cope, Justin Sumner, and Brian Wiggins came down on lap number 3. I better make sure I separate these Wiggins apart as Robert and Brian are out there on the track. Number 5 was the second car, or third car, in the caution that was involved when the 25 rotated back up. So we'll go ahead and get this back underway to get the Pop Secret 500 ready to go. I'm ready to see this under green. Still need more drivers out here at the track with the NSR field, guys. They also have opened up on Tuesdays for a truck series. Same sort of deal, shorter tracks, but they're letting her rip. All right, Lilith Peters getting on that loud pedal quick to get lap number 6 underway here. We take off very, very quickly. Lilith Peters trying to escape. We'll keep our eye on the number 3 Good Wrench machine as the 46 of Jared Hayes works to the outside. You see the smoke is still clearing even from the last caution out there. That's going to be some tough run. All right, now Angel is falling way back. That's actually falling down from 9th to 12th. That's now to the last spot. I'm wondering if that 14's got some damage here. And maybe we don't see or they don't know. Crew chief said it was okay. Spotter said it was okay, but the 14 is falling off pace. Right now, Angel Rodriguez has to hold on. Back in there of Brian Wiggins' car before we lose the track. Jay out there is even saying, yep, that race there on Tuesday was pretty good too. I would say so myself. I still could use a larger car count. My happy spot is somewhere between that 25 and 30 range. Once you get 40 drivers, that's when things really start getting ugly. Guys start smashing each other up. So if we can get another 15 drivers here, I think that would be fantastic. Lilith Peters continues this roll here. Sikosi holds on to second. Now remember, this is an open setup league. These guys are running around here on what they built. I have seen drivers come to this league, don't even make a modification to the base model that iRacing did and have won. No modifications really do need to be made, but you want to get that little bit of an edge, you got to start testing and tuning, which is exactly what you're seeing out here in front. Leading this race with Lilith Peters. Following behind Mark Sikosi's Jared Hayes, so we've already got 2 Tier 1 setup shop cars sitting here in the podium positions. We're looking to see if they can get Justin Sumner up there, but that's going to be a hard battle. Mark Sikosi holding on tight to the number 2 spot. Changed so far here. Last lap actually run the fastest speed on the track. It's actually held out there by Jared Hayes. He just ran 40 seconds flat at this track. That is blazing speed. That's getting through 2 turns and half the straightaway in less than 20 seconds. That's quick. Right now, nobody is faster than Jared Hayes out there in the Chevrolet. Woo, a little checkup there. I don't want to connect 2 Monte Carlos together out there. We see how fast he can get across the line this time. Lilith Peters fastest before the last one. Lilith Peters actually getting 40. Drivers finally getting some laps on these tires. They're starting to heat up a little bit, and now we're getting that grip we've been looking for here for some time. Drivers already starting to separate though. Lyle Mitchell trying to hold pretty close out there in the number 3. They are kind of calling Lyle Mitchell out a good bit here. Closer out there as we take a look for a few battles out there on the track. I'm hoping Angel does not have a problem. Currently way back here in the back there with Jason Korn in the 48. Currently as the drivers get out here and they do some racing, they'll pick up hopefully a couple of sponsors out there. We'll get some of these paint schemes squared away. We'll try a few different other pieces out there. Moving on up, I'm showing currently that is number 8 out there for Jason Crumley. If I'm not mistaken, Crumley is supposed to be out there in the 9. That may be something they go ahead and work on later on. Not be in the 8. Mark Sikosi has been in the 8 and always will be in the 8. Charge out front. He is the Speedway master out there. As we can see Lilith Peters doing once again what she does best, and that is leading here. She had been chasing Justin Sumner after a horrible pit road issue out there. A different pit road strategy causing Lilith Peters to come away with the win. She stayed out there long enough not to run out of fuel and not to blow the right rear tire. Devin Lockridge was so impressed that he actually took that vehicle again back out there. And notice that once iRacing gives you an 11% tire blows, and sends it down to the rim out there. So that is how close she was. Lilith Peters actually went out there, did a burnout, and blew the tire during the race. That was quite impressive. I mean, that's how close. I've never seen a race where it actually came down to a tire making it to the end. Normally it's a fuel mileage game. Lilith Peters doing an awesome job, though, as the battle starts here for Sikosi. This is for the number 2 spot. Jared Hayes looking to the inside here. Hayes starting to ride him up the track a little bit. That's going to be enough to pivot. Hayes will have that number 2 spot here for just a moment, but watch Sikosi as he comes off turn number 2. Watch this outside turn speed if he can hold it. Oh, the wiggle. It bleeds off a little bit. and that goes ahead and hands that position right over to Jared Hayes. Mark Sikosi looking to live to fight another day. He'll go ahead and fight him a little bit later on. Drops way to the bottom, unusual for the number 8 to be dropping down to the bottom like that, as I've been talking about that for just a moment. I don't know if you guys know up there in the ticker. 94 Chevrolet of Justin Sumner has just broken farther into the top 5. He's now currently sitting 4th. He's got to drum up 2 seconds in that McDonald's machine to run down Mark Sikosi. Right now he takes another 2/10 off there. I expect to see Justin Sumner make that catch, and he's going to grab a hold of that driver and try to put all 3 Devin Lockridge Motorsports drivers into the top podium positions. We want to give a shout out there to Devin Lockridge Motorsports and the Tier 1 Setup Shop for doing a great job and bringing bodies here. But only Lockridge can do so much. I do recommend that you guys bring your friends, your drivers, even if you watch out here. Let's say if you were watching out there from the Racing Revolution, you're watching out there from the High Octane Sim Series, you're watching out there from Coast to Coast that I used to broadcast, and you are still subscribed and watching, and you think this doesn't look too bad at all, go ahead and bring some of your friends that you come here to watch, and invite them here. Tell them what they can do, and then have them give it a shot. If they like it, they can stay. If they don't, you gave it a shot. You know how we broadcast here. We try to make sure we get everybody in the picture, as we are currently hovering here in the top 3 for quite some time. Let's rotate back to currently Robert Wiggins. Wiggins, unfortunately, is sitting 2 seconds back to Crump and about 6 seconds in front of Angel Rodriguez. Angel went ahead and passed Jason Korn out there to go ahead and get on by. Brian Wiggins falls to 11th, and Justin Cope showing a little signs of some mishaps out here from the 59 machine, as Justin Cope is currently riding in 12th. May have to send a message out there and see if I've got a backup driver out there in the 59. Justin Cope has been known to have a few other drivers take over from behind the wheel. The car is here, but the driver might not be. Cope, unusual to be trucking around out there, only sitting in 12th. Looking pretty good. All right, Jay, chat's slowing down out there. You better start blowing it up, buddy. Tell me what's going on out there. See you out there saying, is he related to Hut Strickland? I don't know. I don't know. Currently sitting down in the pit box for the last 14 minutes. Might be able to ping him here. So the drivers are pretty strung out here, unfortunately. And whoa! How did we just pull into Jason Crumley slinging off the track here? Landscaping crew is going to be mad about that. Wow, what happened there? So lap number 13, Justin Cope had a problem back here, and this is why I think Cope is so far off speed. Lost it around the edge. Currently, as we're watching this replay, Cope is losing it yet again. This does not bring out a caution, as Cope is currently out there. And Stella's asking if that was a mechanical issue. That's very possible. We're trying to break down and see what happened here. The number 8's coming on around, and then all of a sudden, look, the car just hooks. Brakes are completely locked up. You can see the tires not spinning. Dude. Yeah, Jason Crumley's going to be coming into the pits for that. Let's take a look on the inside and see if his wheel does something unusual. Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look like a mechanical issue. The 8 seemed to be in control. The back end kicked out there a little bit, but not quite sure if that car just got too loose and then let go. So Jason Crumley will now be in the pits for some time. Number 8 going to be under a lot of repairs here. John Strickland has taken it back to the garage. That's going to drop us 4 off the chart. Still rolling around, though, is going to be the Napa machine out there, Guadalupe Hernandez. See, Hernandez actually out there. Will chat with us in the chat if the 15 machine does go down for any unfortunate reason. But continuing to stay on the track will move Hernandez up to the 12th position, because Crumley has not made it past any farther than lap 19. And that's going to hurt. All right, let's check in on Lilith Peters. Lilith Peters, I think, has been under fire here for a little bit. Not saying any passes, but definitely some pressure leaned on here. When Jared Hayes is starting to push from the back, the 01 Ford here of Lilith Peters starting to get back out in front, getting that almost 2/10 gap, but no can do. Jared Hayes looking for the lead here. This might be a slot here, right entering turn number 3, Jared Hayes. It's going to be the first driver here tonight to take over the lead. And we'll see if Lilith Peters changes it up. Yes, she does. Patience is a virtue, and that's why. There it is. Lap number 25 underway, Lilith Peters. Per the books, yes, that is a lead change, but lead laps all go to the 01. Hey, out there saying he likes her paint out there. He doesn't look too bad about himself either. All right, take a look at Jared Hayes taking a peek down here at the bottom again. I think right now Lock Ridge Motorsports may be kind of honing in on that 01, saying, all right, how's that car feel and why are we starting to fall off? Currently some of the best time and last times out there. Currently I am showing Lilith Peters off by 1.4 seconds of fall off. That's okay. Jared Hayes is off by 1.5 seconds. So is Mark Sikosi. That's why Peters still leads this race and finally gets back out in front. Hayes makes another mistake, loses down to 0.5 second here. Boy, look at Hayes dropping down to the bottom. Now that here at Auto Club is extremely aggressive on those right side tires. And Jared Hayes will realize he can't do that forever. And he may end up in some trouble later on. Robert Wiggins showing we had some trouble here, which has unfortunately caused him to drop off the track. We may see Robert Wiggins bringing it on in the pit. Something tells me he broke a little bit loose there. He draws the line and brings it on in. Jason Crumley is able to refire it. The number 9 machine here of Jason Crumley will return back to the track. Unfortunately, I believe that is going to put Crumley down about 7 laps here. A long way to go. Possible cautions at a track like this are going to be few and far between. We only had one caution here tonight, and that was earlier when John Strickland and Brian Wiggins got into it. All right, I see Stella out there hanging out, chatting in the chat box there to the side. Go ahead and tell me what you guys think as well. Lock Ridge Motorsports being pretty quiet here. I'm wondering if he just got so many drivers out there. Have a lot of things going on. I do ride personally when I race this track the Lilith Peters line. And really, it's about that 3/4 way up or that top seam, and it definitely holds those tires out as long as absolutely possible. She right now is doing her best. Jared Hayes taking a look down towards the bottom. Hayes can continue fighting on, but I don't think that's going to hold out very long. Angel Rodriguez coming on down into pit. As going to be lap 27 that she's visiting now. No, the Angel is visiting now. Got Lilith Peters on the mind. I'm looking up here at our time clock, watching Hayes switching back and forth with Lilith Peters here for the past couple of laps. Right now is able to stick that nose past and then can't get any farther than that. Extended time in the pit box for Rodriguez. 21 seconds and still counting. This is going to hurt. Robert Wiggins doing much of the same. So Wiggins currently having some issues, finally entering the pit box. Robert Wiggins actually sat down pit lane for almost 40 seconds before entering the pit box to make his adjustments. That's pretty wild. All right, Jared Hayes, see, once again, gets the lead for just a second. Lilith Peters, turn exit speed, goes and pulls on around. Ooh, she's getting a little loose, though. She's getting nervous. Wall's starting to creep up pretty close. Can Lilith Peters go back-to-back here in the Gen 4 Cup Series here with the NSR lead? You guys are running here at Auto Club. Lilith Peters coming on down. Trying to blow it up here. Gets down to about 55 miles an hour, and in the pit. We'll be underneath. That should do it. Good job there by Lilith Peters, getting it checked up just in time. Justin Sumner doing the exact same thing, coming down and visiting down in the pit as well. So Jared Hayes will overtake the lead here. Mark Sikosi's still trucking around out there. Just about 1.6, 1.7 seconds off our lead. It's starting to grow out there a little bit. Lilith Peters and Justin Sumner finally get into the pit box after going way down. Remember, Lilith Peters sitting on the pole. She had to get all the way to the end. 4 tires and fuel, back out we go to get lap number 33 underway. Lilith Peters on lap 31. Those to show you how fast people can go laps down here. Pitting under green flag. Currently, everybody on the lead lap. Their lowest guy is currently the number 5 of Brian Wiggins. Off pace by, I believe, 27 seconds? Might be more than that. Might be 37 seconds if I'm reading that right. Brian Wiggins in some hot water here. Fairly close. A lap to the number 5 here. Yep. And close. Okay, that's him out there in the distance. Jared Hayes does remain out there on the track. There we go. Lilith Peters going ahead and getting that lap on back. Lilith Peters enjoying the speed. Has. Notice how dropping down toward the bottom. That might be trying to break the draft. Jared Hayes has to put more pressure on that engine. Mark Sikosi working his way on down. Looking out there at the pit box, does look like they're telling Jared Hayes he needs to come in now. Yep, Jared Hayes on down in the pit, leaving one driver left out of this whole field that still is yet to pit. Jason Ford does need to come down. He hasn't been down one time yet. Enters the pit box. The 48 machine of Jason Thorne continues to drive it out here. take into account the amount of laps that we have been able to tick off here. 48 Chevrolet is Jason Korn, new leader. Lilith Peters, who pit back on lap number 31, catching up quickly. About 10 seconds behind. Question at times how in the world he's doing it. Keeping it out there. All right. Coming up on about 40% here of this race. We're going to cut to commercial. We'll be right back. Here at the Pop Secret 500, we are here at the Auto Club Speedway. First mess up here, or maybe the second that we've seen out of Jason Korn. Clip the edge of the wall there on lap number 1, and we are slowly having a fall apart here to the 48 Chevrolet. Lilith Peters currently on your screen, overtaking the lead, getting it on back, going ahead and making a solid separation there of almost 5 seconds before Justin Sumner can catch up. But it's impressive to see Jason Korn continue to run his race. He has yet to pit, and I'm not quite sure what the thought process is here, but the 48 Chevrolet is continuing the drive forward. So that's what Lilith Peters sitting in the number 1 spot. Jason Korn is second. Justin Sumner is third. Jared Hayes occupies the 4th position after he had the lead there for just a little while, but he did pit 4 laps later than Lilith Peters. Mark Sikosi sitting down there in the number 5 spot. You notice him number 8 machine. His Chevrolet is holding in 5th. Brian Wiggins moves up to the 6th spot after a 12th place qualifier. Lyle Mitchell sitting in the number 3, currently 7th, and Lucas Trump finishing out 8th. Tough race for a lot of these guys out here, as they just cannot seem to get this car to stop coming free on the turn. All right, that's going to do it. Jason Korn showing us he can make it 42 laps on the same tank of fuel here as we get lap number 43 started. Lilith Peters leading this one away. Jason Korn, I don't think, is going to be able to make it without yet another pit stop, so he may have to short pit it next time around. Yeah, Thomas Harkin saying the 48 lost it just about last lap. Yeah, that connection into the wall there on turn number 1 did cause a good bit of trouble there. And then lost it again on the exit of 2, almost taking it way to the inside. Fortunately, we had plenty of asphalt on the inside for those guys to make that adjustment. Checking out there in the chat, Lockridge Motorsports giving you guys a little bit of a hint out there as to what the tires are looking like. Currently, I believe where most guys worry about that right side. That right front tire sitting around 42, right rear around 79. That's still pretty good out there. It's extremely hard to get them leveled out or to make them any closer than that. Even if you adjust any right front spring pressure, it's still going to throw the weight of the car off a little bit. But Lilith Peters handling just fine. A little bouncy there down toward the bottom, close to the wall on the turn exit there. But Lilith Peters currently leading by 4.4 seconds over teammate Justin Sumner. And another 5.5 seconds before we can find Jared Hayes. So it is true that Lockridge Motorsports currently occupies 1, 2, 3 out here. Sumner was able to make up 9 positions after a new engine. And keeping a great run out here and still trying to put together a complete race. Top Secret 500 continues on here. Only one caution came out here tonight, involving a few drivers. Remember, the number 14 of Angel Rodriguez was involved out there on lap number 2. John Strickland and Brian Wiggins. Now, Wiggins has been able to survive, and he stays out there on the track. Unfortunately, a lap down. I believe only our top 5 drivers are currently on the lead lap after some offset pitting out here. There's some different change up here for our guys that pit there on lap number 42. We'll see if it holds up for them to be all out there. Seeing if they had pit 10 laps earlier, they would be somewhere around the Justin Sumner area. Having trouble running up a little bit of speed to get Lilith Peters. Lilith Peters enjoying that clean air out front. Does not seem to be having any contest out there with anybody getting close. So that seems to be no issue. I think Lilith Peters is starting to catch up, I believe, to Justin Cope here. I'll put Cope down another lap. Fortunately, Lilith Peters, this is definitely a great run once again. And that would be something is going back to back after Peters kind of been missing here from the race and from the series there for a little bit. So here comes Lilith Peters, and then we look back about 4.5 seconds at the McDonald's machine. That's currently the one trying to run her down. Club nice and wide here. Drivers can stay high, drivers can drop down low. Lilith Peters knows that if you hang toward the top, we save more tires. And will last longer out there. Really, Lilith Peters putting on a clinic here. As long as we get one more good pit stop, we may be able to make it to the end. We'll see if she decides to stay out longer. Lilith Peters off the wall in turn 2. There's the mess up Justin Sumner has been looking for, but Sumner picks up no difference. Still remaining at 4.4 distance between these two. Jared Hayes is getting a little more aggressive. Take a look and drop it down, but then rotating back up to the top. He goes ahead and gets lap number 50 started for him. job here so far. Check it back on Sikosi. Sikosi trying to see if he can make that adjustment down the pit road. See if he can find a little more speed out of that car. Drivers are definitely spread out here. Take a look at our field. What? How do you forget somebody's even in the chat? And another driver we're missing here, Jared Magoon. See him back out here. Magoon is having a heck of a run. Races by running just out of fuel. Motorsports saying, no, she's quiet. Yeah, well, quiet. Take that spell. But Tony Stewart used to be pretty quiet there on the radio. He got tired of people talking to him. And Earnhardt Jr. got tired of people talking to him on the radio. Stop telling me that I don't care, I don't need this. Tell me when I ask you. You know, you got to think. There's a lot of concentration that goes into it. A little nudge here and there, it can end up spinning somebody out. It's not just the danger of the car, it's danger of somebody's life. Here, unfortunately, in sim racing, it's just danger of the car and your pride. We're currently still looking at Lucas Trump here. Catch Lyle Mitchell there in the 3. As currently you see peeking around the corner there is Mark Sikosi. That's actually our 4th place driver. He's currently running up on the 04 car. Who is currently in 6th. So you do see a little setup changing out there. Looks like he goes that grind off the side there, Robert Wiggins' car. Right now, Hendrick Motorsports not going to be too happy about that. Both Wiggins boys and Korn are hanging out there. They're trying to see if they can do just something a little bit different than the rest of these guys. Unfortunately, all of them are not on the lead lap. Ooh, look at the speed Sikosi gets there to the backside of Lyle Mitchell. There you go, Jay. That's to remind you of something. Look like father and son cars out there. Up, down, all over the track. I don't know if he's meaning to do that, but looks like we got contact here. Oh man, he's able to pull it off the wall. Yeah, Lyle Mitchell way out of shape here. Way out of shape. So we've broken over halfway part of this race. Logan Peters has led the majority of them. Everybody is still squeaking away. Back to lap 33. This is the reason why Justin Cope is still having trouble back here. Go under taking a look at Justin Cope spinning out, honestly, the caution flag comes out after that. That caution flag is going to be caused by Justin Cope. Let's take a look at Justin Cope, what caused this, what actually got a caution thrown for one of these spin outs. I wonder if we break to the side here and, yep, we whip back. Guess that was close enough to the number 14 out there to throw the caution. So it should be an interesting pit call here. I would probably say that Lilith Peters will most likely pit here. Currently, we have been 26 laps. When we get to pit road, 27 laps on these tires. I would definitely come in, seeing that she came in on lap 31. So time for an early pit stop here. I'm sure Lilith Peters will be taking tires and fuel. And then we'll have one more pit stop at the end. Maybe with about 15 to go. It does make me question. A driver like Jason Korn is able to go 42 laps on a single tank of fuel. That's going to be pretty close out there. They are currently working their way down pit road now. Lyle Mitchell does appear to stay out. Gonna get a lap back though. 4 tires and fuel for all our drivers. They'll try to see if they can get back out there and see how it's going on. Maybe there's a possibility of Lilith Peters able to get to some sort of into a groove here. Maybe there's something maybe we don't know. Hopefully we'll have a chance to grab a hold of Lilith Peters here and possibly have an opportunity to maybe get some insight here. Miss Peters, do you hear me out there?
Yeah.
All right, awesome. Hey, how's the race going out here? I see you leading a ton of them. What are you and your race team thinking about pit strategy coming up in the remaining part of this race?
Well, it's like 2 laps outside the pit window, so I have no idea.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty close. You came in on lap 31. Now we come in on 58. We'll kind of keep a peek out there. I wasn't sure if Devin Lockridge and the crew out there is thinking, you know, are we going to have to split this next one in half? Or are we going to have to try to save? Because this is going to be, once again, you make it just barely. As I see you coming back down into pit road here.
Yeah, I'm going to top off. Why not?
Okay, now we'll try to see if we can squeeze
Been
it
a
out.
fun race, though, for me.
Yeah, well, you've been leading. You're going to be playing chase now with Justin Sumner. Was, I would say, almost your teammate, yet arch nemesis out there that gave you so much trouble the last race you just won. You know, it almost seems you're lining yourself up for a back-to-back win. So, I mean, how's your confidence level? Does this seem like it's going to be a piece of cake here at Auto Club?
Not at all. Depends on the fuel. And if we get another caution.
Yeah, you are right. You do run a much higher line than everybody else. I do enjoy seeing that because that's the exact line that I ran. It seems to save tire a little bit. Are you finding anything out toward the top of the track? Is it rubbering up fine? Because your car started loosening up about 5 to 6 laps ago.
Yeah, the car doesn't churn on the bottom, so the top is better for that.
All right, Lilith, good luck out there, and hopefully you and the Lockridge Motorsports gang can get it done here. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks. Have a good night.
Yep, you too. All right. Set Lilith back up. And Lockridge Motorsports getting back off the chart there and going ahead and radioing up to the 01. Lilith Peters going ahead and doing a splash and go here. Really waiting for the drivers to double stack here. We're getting be that far back right now. A lot of them are still playing catch up here. Robert Wiggins trying to hurry up. As We are currently exiting turn number 4, a little late here to the run. Currently waiting for Hernandez to catch up. Hernandez way off pace. He's got to keep the hammer down. He is not even close. He's got to catch back up. Let's check in on Sikosi. Justin Sumner gets off to an awesome restart here to only bring out our second caution of the night. And Lilith Peters, I think, is sliding through our infield here. Boy, she's gonna want me. After 4 tires and fuel and being back in that dirty air, I think Lilith Peters got caught off guard here. Unfortunately, that's gonna drop her back by 18 seconds. If there's one thing she's needing now is a caution. Let's see if she can get caught back up. Yeah, look at the side, right there. Loosens it on up, but does not cause a caution. We keep on the green. 19 seconds back, Lilith Peters remains. She'll be playing chase. Sumner sits number 1, Sikosi 2, Jared Hayes is 3rd. Look how close Hayes is getting here. Let's see if we can get a little side view here. Right along here with Jared Hayes. Vehicle looking at 46. Any extra luck here. Beautiful paint scheme there. Tier 1 setup shot going ahead and working his way around the Budweiser machine and moves up to the second spot. Budweiser drops down to 3rd. Kyle Mitchell falls off by a second and a half off of that. Now Sikosi playing chase again. Sikosi would like to get up front and lead some laps again. Yeah, the part that hurts the most here for Lilith Peters, even after the spin out, has now grown to 37 seconds off pace. That's currently Justin Sumner, who's getting ready to play, getting ready to catch here really soon. All right, Stella, if you're saying you're having a hard time hearing me, making sure it's not on the side of the cars. I know the side of the cars sometimes get a little loud out there. A couple of things are shifting around out there on the track. Don't want to be overpowering, though. Originally said there was some trouble out there from Lilith Peters on lap 61. Lap 62, I'm a little confused because Lilith Peters is now missing the front clip. There you go, Jay. There's your bumper donation. Boy, Lilith Peters going from leading almost this entire race and now still trying to stay on the lead lap with front nose damage. Justin Sumner will be passing Peters. Sumner makes contact with the wall. Almost bounces into Lilith. Oh my gosh. I've been almost a 2-for-1 there. Two drivers from the same team getting wiped out. Pretty rough, but check out Sikosi. Sikosi only 2/10 off taking over the lead here. And now starting to work on Justin Sumner just a little bit. Gets a decent run heading into turn number 1. He hovers just a little bit higher. Bumper out there. Yeah, I agree with you. Lap number 69 underway now. We move back to Brian Wiggins. Around a few other drivers out there, fortunately not on his lap. On his level. 91 something got on here. All right, Brian Wiggins out there in the GoDaddy machine, currently sitting in 6th. Currently right now, Brian Wiggins. Hard. Yeah, not bad. Hats off to Crumley here for continuing the roll, especially after having that tumble up there or whatever made him sling through the grass. And kind of ruined his night here. Unfortunately, has not been able to recover since. Currently, Will Peters needing that caution sooner than later. Currently gets passed here by Brian Wiggins, which now means he is lined up for the lucky dog position. So number 5 will get his lap back first. And yep, looking at it here, that should be only our top 4 on the lead lap. Bummer. Now we're coming up on the 3/4 point here of this race. Only 2 cautions here tonight at Auto Club Speedway. Already we had a little trouble out there with Strickland. Got in a little bit of trouble there. Knocking off the side there of Angel and Wiggins. That smacked off the side of him there. So Brian Wiggins has already been having a rough night, but goes and slings himself into that lucky dog spot. And we only had one other caution after Justin Cope has spun out not once, not twice, not 3 times. It actually spun out for the 4th time, causing an issue out there with traffic. And bringing out a caution there on lap number 55, I believe. Taking a look here at Jared Hayes. This is for the number 2 spot. Justin Sumner still holding on to being captain of this ship. The 2 of these still battling side by side is allowing Sumner to get away. He's able to pull another 10th away from these 2. Jared Hayes has got to make this pass here pretty quick. Gets to the high side, lowers back down. That should get him full clear here. These 2 have battled more than once. And it looks like Jared Hayes is going to get around him. All right, those are our top 3 drivers. We do have to look back about 6.5 seconds to find Lyle Mitchell in 3. There he is. And he is the last one on our lead lap. Take a peek back here with Jared Hayes. Dave Mark Sikosi is looking here with 26 laps left to go. And if Sumner's radioing up that they do not have enough fuel to make it to the end, they figured that Jason Korn making 42 laps should be able to make it after this pit. I don't think that's going to be the case. We may see tires and fuel out of our guys again here one more time. I wonder if they've got to get it down to about 15 to get back out there. That way the tires can heat up. They can run some of their fastest laps in the smallest amount of time. I wouldn't want to hit now and risk losing a lot here. All right, entering pit lane is going to be Justin Cope. Cope came on down. And oddly enough, since that's time, Robert Wiggins has been down. Hernandez has been down. And Justin Cope is now visiting pit road. This could be a telltale sign. Some of these guys are splitting this last stage in half. Assuming this goes green to the end. Right, Cope in the box, Cope out of the box. 15.43 seconds for Justin Cope. Cope looking to score a few points here tonight. Cope has fought up to 9th. Even after all those spin outs, has figured out how to tighten up the race car. Coming down. I'm mistaken. I think that's the number 3 here of Lyle Mitchell. Lyle Mitchell coming on down. Definitely wants that car to be faster now. Make one last slight adjustment. Checking out here in the chat, says possibly just a slight tire pressure adjustment with these 4 tires. And then they're going to get back out. Ooh, slightly goes past the pit box. Say they don't want to make any dramatic changes out there. Has to change. That way they don't end up loosening that car up too much and then they can't do anything with it. The 14 Marlboro car working all the way on down. 22 laps left to go here. The Pop Secret 500. Auto Club Speedway is where we are at. Some people like calling this California or Fontana. This goes back to Auto Club. Fortunately, this track has been permanently shut down now. So no more. A couple of adjustments that they're going to make and see if they can refire this track back up. Unlike Chicagoland, which continues to be a parking lot to this day. Sumner leading this race. Hayes sitting second. Sikosi close in third. Right now, these guys are squeezed together all by less than half a second. Between 1, 2, and 3. Sikosi's still trying to hang on. It seems his car is a late run car, as he has picked up a lot more speed later on in the stint than the early part. That's why he ended up losing that second spot again to Jared Hayes. Sikosi trying to keep tight. Notice how Jared Hayes is leaving a little bit, heading into turn number 1. As Jared Hayes is desperately trying to break that draft. Lockridge Motorsports say, we are saving. No way. You were going to try to stretch it to the end? Because Jason Korn went 42 laps before having to pit. That's going to be close since you guys pit back on lap 58 with no caution in between. Korn did have a caution in the midst of all that, even with 42. I would say 38 laps. I'm hoping you guys don't come up short here. So they've got to figure out how to make up about 4 to 5 laps of fuel. They may run out. Sumner starting to get a little pressure. Noticing the number 46 a little bit larger in the rearview mirror. One thing's for certain, Sumner still leading this race. Not looking to have a repeat of last time. Well, Peter's kind of wiped out. Lockridge Motorsports out there saying we don't know the plan yet. Now, decision's got to be made pretty soon with 18 laps left to go. Currently, if they believe they were to come down and pit, Brian Wiggins is currently sitting 50 seconds off the lead. Which means he's only 10 seconds behind. He'll get one lap back, and then he's got to get all the way around again. And then make the pass, assuming that Sumner comes out on 4 tires. They throw a set of right sides on to get back out there. I know the left sides are pretty critical here as well. But in the name of saving time, I'm wondering if something's going on to try to squeeze out enough fuel here. Yeah, right now, I think as each lap goes by, Sumner and Hayes are radioing up out there to Devin Lockridge and starting to count him off how many tenths of fuel they are slowly shaving off. Seeing if they're 10.1, 9.8, 9.6. Right now, I believe Devin Lockridge is currently out there doing some math to figure out if they're going to make it or not. Right now, Lockridge Motorsports, the team to beat here tonight. Ooh, shot to the wall there by Sumner. Getting loose. Jared Hayes goes ahead and waited for that. Attacks now. Not bad. Sikosi going to do just the same. The 94 machine going from first to third just on the backstretch. Talk about a move that hurts. That's one of them. Right now, Sumner's going to be looking to make that up. It's impressive to see the discipline of these drivers. Normally, you see panic set in amongst the amateurs and the rookies out there. They go out there, make a mistake off the wall, and then all of a sudden just keep making mistake after mistake after mistake. After they try to recover from an incident like that, making contact with the wall. Highest placed driver that has already pit here tonight is Lyle Mitchell, currently sitting in 5th. Pit back there on lap 77, has enough fuel and tires to make it to the end. Look at our time, 52 seconds. Lyle Mitchell did pit at a perfect time. Lyle Mitchell would then take over the lead. After some of these pit stops, looking at our average pit stop out there, about 54 seconds. So it is make or break. These guys have waited, I would say they've waited too long. They would have had to pit earlier. So they are fully committed now, 14 to go. Crumley working his way on down. Not bad here for Brian Wiggins, getting in trouble early in the race. Still a lap down and still holding 4th. Jay out there saying Lilith Peters still in 7th. With 15 to go, you're right. I think that second wreck did Lilith Peters in, though. I think he might have had a better chance if Lilith hadn't spun out and taken that front bumper off. It's rather unfortunate here. The 01 car, that's one of the pretty cars out here. Has got a good clip of damage there. Our race slowly winds down here. Brian Wiggins taking a look at Lyle Mitchell. Mitchell was down a lap. Lyle Mitchell goes in and works on around. 20 lap fresher tires than that of Brian Wiggins. Jay's out there saying weight reduction. Now, I think that bumper probably weighs no more than 3 pounds. They don't weigh anything. I think the worst part is that aerodynamics. Now everything's slamming to the front of that motor and the radiator there, which is causing it to slow her down. It's still getting up around 187 miles an hour, though. That was definitely a pretty quick clip out there. Jared Hayes still, for the moment, leading this race. Look who's rejoined, Justin Sumner. Sumner back at him. Trying to grab him by the throat here and see if he can get on around. Right now, this is Hayes. Take a look off the back end here of Jared Hayes. Motorsports guys are trying to save. I'm not seeing it. These two guys are trying to run each other down. So we might be actually doing a little more fuel usage here. They have built up a 1.3 second gap over top of Sikosi. Big run there, Justin Sumner. All right, let's see if Sumner has an answer for him here. 9 laps left to go. Sumner right behind him. Had him by less than a tenth as he has been pushing around out there. Appreciative that the 94 could do something for him out there. They are both trying to fuel save. Currently, they have the driver, Robert Wiggins, currently sitting behind them. They may use that driver to their advantage. Let Robert Wiggins on around to gain at least one of his laps back. It's still going to leave him at least a handful down, somebody they can grab instead of out there plowing through the air. Robert Wiggins did pit on lap 83. He's one of the drivers with the freshest tires out here. Jason Korn coming on down. It is impressive to see a driver with tires that were put on back on lap 83, giving him, I think, a 3-lap tire advantage here. Right now, he can't make the pass. I mean, it just goes to show you the setup here. The two guys in front are really doing an awesome job. Still can't come up with an answer. All right, Jason Crumley, remember he had the fastest time out here on the track. There for a moment, but couldn't get enough. Right now, Crumley out there rolling on over 200 miles an hour. And I saw it ping up on our screen here saying he is really cooking out there. Gave him a lap 79, tires starting to finally swing in. Sikosi laying back just a little bit here. Now 4 seconds off pace. Something tells me Sikosi knows he's not going to make it. 6 to go. Justin Cope, after spinning out so many times, sitting 7th. Might have a possibility at 6. That Ford Taurus getting lucky here. Looking to attack back. Number 2 spot, 5 to go. This is going to be a close one. If Sumner's got anything left in the tank for Hayes. Sumner. Sumner has made the separation. They know. Sikosi behind by 5 seconds. Side by side. Here it takes a look. Sumner taking a look here. Seeing if he can squeeze on by. Knocked to the wall. Sumner, little lapse of judgment there. Costs him. Thought we may have had a battle for the lead there. A little stronger than that. Sumner does knock the wall. This goes ahead and kicks him back half a second. Robert Wig gets on around him, gets that clean air out front, and takes off. And it's definitely making these guys feel silly as he's starting to pull away. Yeah, one thing left to go. I'm wondering if Justin Sumner, I don't think he's got enough in the tank left to do it here. He's now a second off. All right, we come to the line. Pretty close here. Next time by is the white flag. Jared Hayes looking to hold on to the lead. He's got a 2-second lead over top of Justin Sumner. Sumner way off pace here. Very unusual. Running 43-second laps compared to his teammate at 42. Wonder if he feels like he's not going to make it here. Hayes has one more time around. Sumner with contact to the wall on the exit of turn number 2 has unfortunately cost him the race win here. You see a few battles out there. I know Wiggins was messing around out there with Cope. Cope going ahead and getting across the line here with white flag still out. Justin Sumner not able to come up with any answers here. Great race here so far, and I believe this one will be wrapping up here in just a moment. Jared Hayes out in front by 2 seconds over his own teammate here. Is going to come away with the race win. He's got it. There he is. Jared Hayes, Justin Sumner, Mark Sikosi. Waiting on Sikosi to get on by. He's got nobody else. Everybody else is locked down. Great job here by Jared Hayes. What a race, though. What a race. Omaha, Nebraska. Made it in to victory lane here tonight. Definitely showed off a lot of class here and a lot of experience as the number 46 does what he does best. I was looking to see if the engine stalled out. I thought that was it. Oh my gosh. Alrighty. Go ahead and crunch some of this away. We'll take a look at our unofficial results here in just a moment. We'll go ahead and pull them up. This is where everybody placed here tonight. Bottom 3 drivers. Not ready yet. So they will hopefully join us next week. I assure you they're going to be ready to go. So this wraps up here tonight with Jared Hayes, Justin Sumner, and Mark Sikosi. We're going to find those drivers and get ready to go here and talk to them. as this is the beginning of the chase for the Cup. Next week we'll be at Five Flags Speedway, so we sling it back down to a short track, and we're going to let them go at it yet again. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hang in there, and we will be right back. All right, everybody, thanks for sticking around. We catch up with the third place finisher, Mark Sikosi. Mark, you have been on a tear here this season, getting a bunch of wins, but now we're starting to become the bridesmaid here. First race of the chase for the Cup here. We finished third. How does it feel?
I mean, I enjoyed the race. A lot of fun. We're still struggling a little bit with this car on these bigger tracks. I think we made some gains from last week. I felt like, I mean, there were times we were in contention. We got the car handling pretty good there at the end. We were short a little bit on fuel. And the car got tight there at the end, so we lost a little bit. But I don't know. It's a bittersweet. Like, yeah, we made some gains, but it's not really helping us with the points. But I know we'll be in contention next week. Just a little concerned about heading into Kansas.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kansas being the finale is definitely a trip up, but we move into Five Flags next week. You seem to be the short track master here. How's it feel, moving there, and your confidence level of you and your team?
We ran pretty good at USA with this car. We're gonna run something similar. Try to see if we can find a little bit more. I feel like we'll be in contention for the win as long as we can, stay out of trouble. Short track race, anything can happen there. But yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to expect. I feel like we'll be decent, but we'll see.
All right, well, go and give me your shout outs here. We'll try to get you guys all wrapped up and get ready for that next race coming up.
Yeah, thanks to all of our viewers out there on YouTube. Gotta thank you, putting on great broadcasts. Hopefully it was a decent race tonight. The turnout was a little bit better. Yeah, we gotta thank Doug for the sponsorship. With Check Day for Veterans, gotta thank Affordable SEO and Marketing. Gotta thank my teammates for showing up and helping me test different setups and compare, and got to thank the guys that showed up tonight. We had a better size field. It's not a great size field, but compared to what we've had lately, it feels pretty great. So we'll keep it going, keep the momentum going. Hopefully we have even more heading into next week.
All right. Yep, it is getting better. Every little bit helps. Every driver next time. Hopefully Roberto Barini down there can join in, and we can get the numbers straightened out there for Lucas Crump. I thought y'all had traded numbers out there. All right, Mark. Good luck to you, buddy. Congratulations on your third place finish, bud.
Thanks, Patrick.
All right, Mark Sikosi getting it done here in the number 3 spot. That moves us on to Justin Sumner, which, once again, we're going to poke the bear a little bit here. He comes in as the bridesmaid here tonight. So close yet again. All right, well, Justin, seems that wall crept up on you and kind of took out your night here.
Oh, yeah. Well, my right foot did. I killed my right front tire because I've got to figure this track out. But, yeah, bridesmaid again. Eventually, I'd get married. Don't you think?
Yeah. We take a look here at Lilith Peters running the high line. Had almost looked like this was going to be a runaway race at a very commanding lead. Except I think that little bit of dirty air and some fresh tires ended up changing that up for the 01 out there. A little unexpected. And seeing one of the very few Fords out here. You had fought your way up 9 positions to get where you are now. Seems you got the track figured out, but once we got to Jared Hayes, we just didn't have enough for him?
Yeah, we were both saving that last run, starting lap 60. I think we were both about 3 laps short, so we were both clutching it on entry and kind of just we were saving together. He could draft off of me, so he had a little bit better time. I was too focused on saving and not focused on my drive line, and I killed my right front, and then tried to get on his outside and get out front to get the clean air. That last, I think it was less than 5 to go, and I put it in the wall, and that was all she wrote. So I was just tried to turn left to go straight and stay out in front of Mark there, try to get a P2. So
all right.
I hate it ended that way, but still had a good result, so I'll take it.
Yep, the McDonald's number 94 Chevrolet comes in second place. Is that what we're going to see much more of when we move on to, I believe it's Five Flag Speedway next week?
Ooh, I do love short tracks. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully, my teammate may be able to show up. He wasn't able to make it this time, but he's a threat here anywhere we go. So we'll see. Hopefully, I can make it next race and show out. Maybe be one more spot higher.
I hope so too, man. I hope so too. I am definitely a short track connoisseur. I think it does. Mistakes can happen. You've got to be quick. Your reaction time's got to be smart. You got to have the heads up driving, and it's not a 2-mile kind of one hand on the steering wheel following somebody. So that's going to be definitely a drive out there. Justin, go ahead and give me a shout out, sorry, bud.
Yeah, once again, my teammates from the Black Car Mafia, Devin, and the DLM crew. The setups are top notch in my opinion. But my guys from Amanda's Made Creations and Custom Sublimations, Sambo's, like I said, my teammates, and you guys for putting this broadcast on. Really appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, buddy. And hopefully you guys are able to tune in and kind of see what we're doing out here. And don't forget, we also got a truck series here with the NSR. Hopefully you see you guys Tuesday as well if you guys aren't botched up too bad. Justin, congratulations on your second place finish, buddy. I got a feeling we'll go be talking to you in Winter Circle here pretty soon.
I appreciate the confidence, Patrick. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right, Justin Sumner, that guy has been on a tear, and that guy knows exactly what he needs to do. But we move on to the number 46. Interesting paint scheme out here. This doesn't seem like your car out there, Jared. Talk to me a little bit about this race and how we came away with the win.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun tonight. I ended up jumping in the house car, Devin Lockridge Motorsports, with the Tier 1 setup sponsorship on it, and drove her to a win. That was a lot of fun. The setup was a little tight, but I kind of took a liking to it, and it seemed like I could wrap the bottom a little better than some of the other guys, and then kind of showcased our speed the first half of the race, and then that second half, man, we were on max fuel save trying to make it to the finish, and actually ran out of fuel in the burnout.
Yep, that's what we looked at. I even hopped inside the car and said, "Oh, the RPMs are off. He's out. He's done." So you say you hugged the bottom, but very oddly enough, Lilith Peters took the more, to me, the way I drive, is the more favorable line up toward the wall. It seems to be a little more conservative on the tires. Maybe not the fuel mileage, but longevity-wise, it works out very well. How did you find so much success down toward on the paint?
Just in practice, I was trying different things and just found a little something. I actually didn't think it was going to work as well as it did, but it panned out during the race. And I know Lilith kept saying she was tight the whole time, and we tried to set up change on the first pit stop, and it didn't really help a lot. So then we went back the other way, and it seemed to actually free me up a little bit, but she was still tight. And then I think she spun or something like that on a restart. But yeah, just found something, got lucky, I guess.
Yeah, and not once but twice. Actually spun the following lap later on turn number 2, went up and took the front bumper off. I mean, just talk about leading the race. You know, the two of you had been battling there for a little bit. As she hung the top, you hung the bottom, but the two of you guys were still side by side. So interesting call here tonight, and the way the cautions did fall. I don't know how that's going to work out at Five Flags Speedway next week. You know, some guys are pretty happy we're heading back to a short track, but with 900 horsepower under the hood, it's hard to keep them on the track. You know, how do you look at the next race to be as successful as this one?
Yeah, that's a challenge for me. The tracks like this are kind of my bread and butter, and I seem to struggle more on the short tracks. I overdrive the cars, so I may not get a run next week just because I have to work. But at the same time, I think it's the season finale, so I might get sick and just have to show up to the racetrack instead and get our priorities straight. But we'll have to get a little practice in and see what we can do.
All right. Season finale actually comes the week after that at Kansas. So hopefully we find you at that track. I was going to say, if 2 miles of bread and butter, then 1.5 miles shouldn't be too bad. All right. Congratulations on your win here, Jared. Go and give me your shout-outs, man.
I got to thank Devin Lockridge, Lilith Peters, Justin Sumner, Brett Bullard over at Tier 1 and Tier 1 Setup Shop. And, of course, you guys for putting on this broadcast, and Mark Sikosi for putting on the league.
Awesome sauce. Love to see how you guys... Oh,
and I got to say, got to throw in one more thing. Can't forget my girlfriend for allowing me to come down here and race. I might be in the doghouse tonight because I raced a little bit too much this week, but we'll see.
Well, tell her you won. Tell her you won.
Yeah.
I think that'll change everything.
We're going to give that a shot.
Attaboy. All right, Jared, congratulations on your win, buddy. You guys do an awesome job, and I can't wait to see Bullard and the rest of you guys out here in the following weeks. Congratulations, and see you next time, buddy.
All right, thank you.
All right, that should do it. 2 drivers from the Lockridge Motorsports gang, the Tier 1 Setup Shop, and all 3 of our guys in podium positions running Chevrolets tonight. Awesome job here. Can't wait for you guys to join us back here again with SimTraX Broadcasting, as we've come a long way here. We're nudging just the edge here of 1,000 subscribers. Not bad after 2 to 3 years here of doing this. I hope I brought you guys a lot of interesting facts out here, different people here in the booth to try to give you guys some insight. We've seen different drivers from Marconi Setup Shop all the way to Tier 1 Setup Shop as well, and just ton of different people, ton of different drivers, ton of different leagues. We've done dirt racing, we've done even like the big show where it's a super speedway series, and I hope we brought you guys the best here in iRacing. But that's going to do it for us here tonight. Jared Hayes takes the win here at Auto Club for the Pop Secret 500. That's going to do it here for us in the NSR Series, the Gen 4 Cup Series Open Setup League. Don't forget to join up and go ahead and get out there on the track. Don't be afraid. But from all of us here at SimTraX Broadcasting, be well, be safe, be kind, and we'll see all you guys next time.